What are the roles of sponsorship and networking in mentoring? What will these roles bring to the mentoring process? That's what we'll be considering in this session, sponsorship and networking skills. Our objectives for this session are that by the end of the session you'll be able to explain the importance of networking and sponsorship in mentoring, assess the principles of networking and how they contribute, and evaluate the effectiveness of sponsorship. So what is networking? Here are two definitions. The first is that networking is defined as a process to build and maintain connections to others for mutual advantage. The second definition is an organized way of creating links from people we know to people that they know for a specific purpose. Here is an exercise on the role of networking in mentoring. So from what you've learnt so far and what you already know, write down what is the role of networking in mentoring. Here are some of the roles, and you may have some others. One of the roles of a mentor is to use their network to put their student in touch with other people that may be useful for them. So as a mentor, you having a good circle of influence can be important not only for you, but for your student as well. You will also want to role model great networking skills, because in most situations networking is an important skill for a student to acquire. So let's start to think about in detail about the principles of networking. And it's something that's very often misunderstood. Many people think that networking is all about what can I get from these people I meet, whereas networking is the opposite. As we've already started to explore in the definitions, networking is about giving and sharing. Networking is about how can I help this group of people? What can I do? Who can I put this person in contact with? So network is a method of using your links to help someone else achieve a particular purpose. So a main principle is promoting others and their needs, and it's about helping people. Great networkers are those that are constantly thinking about how can I help these people? Who do I know that I could put them in touch with? That is very much what you'll be doing as a mentor. Another principle is about contributing and accepting support. We've talked about contributing support, and it's also about accepting support. Some people are very good at helping others, but less good at accepting support themselves. This can be counterproductive. In the end, people stop accepting help from them because they feel bad about constantly taking and not being able to do something for the person. Another principle is about ensuring that it's all right to ask for a favour without expecting anything back in return. Many people get less out of networking because they think if they help someone, then they keep a score and think that that person then has to do them a favour. And then they say, networking doesn't work. Well, networking doesn't work like that. The principle in networking is the larger your network, the more you help others, the more you will be helped, but not necessarily by the people who you helped. Networking, therefore, is a method of increasing your circle of influence. It's about sharing information and goals with the purpose of helping and creating opportunities. That means that you are constantly on the lookout for ways in which you can help others, for ways in which you can promote others, and for ways in which you can tell others about people in your network. And finally, it's built on trust and persistence. You will only be happy having people in your network who you trust, and who you can be happy to recommend to others. And of course, you will only want people you trust to recommend you. It's about persistence because networking produces results over time. It takes time to build up the network and for people to get to know you enough that they will help you and that you'll be comfortable telling people about them. Based on those principles, the 4 stages of networking are preparation, building the network, creating opportunities for referrals, and then maintaining the network. So starting with preparation, here are some things you may want to think about. Set an outcome for yourself. What is it you want to get from networking? Or if you're going to an event where there will be networking opportunities, then what outcome do you want from the event? Think about what type of event it is. It's always helpful to get a list of people who will be attending so that you can think about who you would like to talk to. Make sure that you have business cards and/or other information that you may want to give other people. It's usually useful to think in advance what you're going to do to handle the information you're given by other people. It's easier to do some sorting at the event rather than waiting until you get back to the office or wherever you hold your contact details. You may want to have some system that separates those people you like to contact further and those that you don't want to. Next, there is building the network and what you want to consider in doing that. Firstly is creating rapport. Then find out as much information as you would need to know whether you can trust the person and that you could tell other people about them. Then there is the part where you need to tell people enough about yourself so that they can do the same. And also it's important to constantly look for ways in which you can help people by introducing them to others. The frame of mind for networking is about constantly looking out for opportunities where you can help others by making referrals. This is known as third ear listening. Then it's about making introductions, putting two people in touch with each other. Very important is to keep in contact with the people in your network. There are many ways in which you can keep in contact, and it's surprising how quickly contacts drop if the connection is not maintained. And it's important to keep making referrals and let them know when you've referred someone. It's another way of keeping in touch, and it also makes sure that they realise where their connections have come from. There are two main ways of getting contacts in the first place. There are face-to-face events such as organised networking events, conferences, meetings, and of course chance meetings, for example meeting people on trains or at social gatherings. And the second way is through social media. These may well be familiar to your student, but what is important is how these can be used to further your and the student's career and the interests of the organisation. Students may be encouraged to keep in contact with their tutors through one of the social media sites. Here's an exercise to help you consolidate your learning on networking and to help you mentor your student. Write a guide to networking for your student. So let's think about sponsorship. Here are some dictionary definitions of sponsor. One who assumes responsibility for another person or a group during a period of instruction, apprenticeship or probation. One who vouches for the suitability of a candidate for admission. A patron, a backer, a guarantor. One way of thinking about sponsorship in mentoring is that it is about the work that you do when the student is not there to vouch for the student, promote their interests, and influence on the student's behalf. Because of this, it's a role that a mentor would normally take once the relationship has been going for a while, and that the mentor is in a position where they are happy to use their reputation to make it easier for the student to achieve what they want to achieve. Here's an exercise to help you understand the advantages and disadvantages of this role in mentoring. What are the advantages and disadvantages to the mentor of sponsorship? What are the advantages and disadvantages to the student of sponsorship? What answers did you come up with? Which were the same and which were different from these? Advantages for the mentor may include enhancing their reputation. If they're putting someone forward to take on a project, a new role, etc., and the student does a great job, then the mentor's reputation will be linked to that. In this way, it helps the mentor in their networking, as it's a means of them helping someone in the network. And it will probably earn the mentor much gratitude from their student. The disadvantages can be that it takes time, and if the student doesn't do a great job, then it could harm the mentor's reputation. From the student's perspective, having their mentor sponsor them can make it much easier to reach their goals, and, at the least, it may shorten the time it takes, because they don't have to spend so long trying to find and then influence the right people. And if they make the most of the opportunity that has been opened up for them, then it will enhance their reputation hugely. The chief disadvantage is that they miss an opportunity to learn how to find and influence the right people, so they miss out on learning. and then it may be that they feel beholden to the mentor.